Hey folks, it's Neil from Anchor Ranch Farm in beautiful Scio, Oregon, anchorranchfarm.com. I decided to make a video about why I think so-called free-range chicken is a lie. These are our chickens. They are pasture-raised. These are Cornish cross birds. If you eat chicken and it doesn't say otherwise, you're eating a Cornish cross chicken. These coops are designed to hold 30 birds very comfortably. Right now I only have at most 25, and some of these have fewer birds. And we move them every single day. Every single day that they're in the coop, we move the coop forward the length of the coop plus a little bit so they're on fresh grass every day. So that they get to fresh forage. A wasp just flew at me. They get to fresh forage every day, and they're also, importantly, not on their, they're not living in their manure because we move them off in the morning. So, places marketing free-range chicken, and I'm talking, now we also raise red rangers, which are red, not white, and range a little bit more. These Cornish cross, they will for the most part, because they do escape occasionally when I've got the doors open. They'll go maybe 5 yards, 10 yards, some of them maybe 10 yards at most, and then they just kind of like hunker down and hide in the grass. They don't go long distances. They don't range far or anything like that. The rangers will. The rangers will go, but they still will go. They're not going like 50 yards, 100 yards away. They're going maybe 20 or 30 to range, and then they come back. And we feed our rangers outside of the coops to ensure that they actually get out when we open up the doors in the morning. We describe the rangers as ranging freely or free ranging, but we also qualify and say, yeah, and we still move them. So what I'm talking about when I say free range are these giant corporate farms. The chicken, as far as I know, any of the so-called free range chicken that you're buying at a major, national chain grocery store, big box store, those farms that are raising 10,000 chickens at a time, something like that, and saying that they're free ranging. That's what I'm talking about. And I think it's a total lie. And here's why. This is where these chickens were. Hi. Got my sun hat on today. This is where these chickens were yesterday. They were on this patch of ground for 24 hours. And that's what they did to it. So we'll go on a little, it doesn't stay like that. In fact, by this time next year, where we are will be the tallest, luscious grass in the field because of all the nitrogen fertilizer that the chickens are depositing for me after we let the grass rest and go through our rainy season. And yeah, it's going to be great. We'll go through a little walk back through history. We're going back in time. Here's where they were a few days ago. And you can see, because there's space in between the coops, you can see how tall the grass is when it's not trampled down and torn up and scratched by the chickens. So, it wasn't this way before the chickens. That's what chickens did in a day. So you think about, how big is a chicken? How far is it going to walk? No animal walks hundreds of yards, miles or whatever from where its food source is. And, these big corporate chicken farms marketing free-range chicken. I was looking at the description of one the other day, and they say their facilities are air conditioned for comfort. Well, what that tells me is you don't have enough airflow to get rid of the carbon dioxide from the birds unless you have a ventilation system, because my chickens are perfectly comfortable because they have a breeze going through their coops. They never get heat stressed because they're not packed in real tight, and they have a nice, they get a nice breeze. Yeah. So, yeah. We air condition our facilities for the chickens' comfort. No, because if we didn't, they would all suffocate and die because of the carbon dioxide buildup, because we have 10,000 birds inside a concrete box that are free range, because there's a door that's open and they have continuous access to the outdoors. Well, if they have continuous access outside of their stationary coop, facility, warehouse, prison, whatever you want to call it, this is what? This is like a week, and we've had some rain, so you can see some of the grass coming back. There's clover in there. This is what it's going to look like after a day with 25 birds. So, okay, let's pretend that all 1,000 or 10,000 are actually leaving their air-conditioned warehouse and going outside. What do you think they're going to do to the outside to that? I don't care how many birds there are. I don't care how much space there is. All of the accessible, anywhere that they go, is going to be destroyed. Nothing, all of the greenery will be dead. There will be nothing growing there. It will be a moonscape, not even a desert. It'll be a moonscape. So some of our pasture is not as good as other parts. The chickens didn't do this. This was like this. We'll have to, I don't know. Maybe we'll get some clover in here and get it to germinate. That's what happens when you don't have very good organic matter in your soil. But we're working on it. Here we are. Here's some chickens were here. Here's some white clover blooming. Yep, we're still going back through. I don't know if you can see, but I can actually see the tracks of the skids, the wheels, the grass. I can see and they started back by those trees, by the way. All that's where chickens have been. That's what happens when you move them every day, right? Move them to fresh grass, let their nitrogen-rich manure soak into the soil, fertilize the grass, fertilize the foliage, and move the chickens off to give the soil and the plants time to, here we go. Yep, this is a few weeks ago. Yep. Give it time to rest. This is what real pasture-raised poultry does. Now, I'll try to link it. The APPPA, the American Pastured Poultry Producers Association, they pretty recently released a video discussing a short video, shorter than this, discussing some of the differences between so-called free-range and real pastured poultry. And the only way to raise pastured poultry is to move the chickens, not have a stationary air-conditioned coop, but move the chickens. That's in France, the red label, Label Rouge. I don't speak French. Pardon my French, I don't speak French. The Label Rouge chickens, that's what they do. They're, as far as I know, they're sold in major grocery stores there, but they might have a bigger coop than I do. They might have like a barn that's mobile, that's pulled, or a small barn that's mobile, that's pulled by tractors. But they do the same thing. They move the chickens so that the chickens are not scratching and sitting in the same manure over and over again every single day. I don't even know. I doubt that the birds in these corporate facilities that are supposedly free range, I doubt they leave very much. Why would an animal leave the comfortable air-conditioned building where it gets fed every day, where the food is, to go out into, you know, the hellscape of packed down chicken manure and nothing growing outside. It's such a lie. So don't buy that stuff. Don't shop at those stores. But don't buy that stuff. You know, if you're gonna buy chicken at the grocery store, not from a farmer that you know, just get the cheap stuff. You know, just get cheap chicken. It's, you know, whatever. You know, the farmers who are raising conventional chickens on contract, especially if it's like a smaller operation and they're contracted out to the larger farms. I mean, okay, so it's not pasture raised, it's not the greatest, but those guys are doing good. You know, they're trying to keep the cost down so they can feed people. Now, I believe that we can feed everybody with local farming. I actually think that this is more efficient. It's not more efficient in terms of labor and time, but it's more efficient in terms of resources. But whatever. Just, you know, support a local farm, even if it's not. Just buy the cheap stuff. Don't waste your money on the free range. It's not. It's come on. This is. Just think about it. 10,000 birds in an air-conditioned for their comfort warehouse. And then they have continuous access to an outdoors that after 24 hours, just 24 hours, looks like that. What if I kept chickens on here for 2 days? What would it look like? 3 days? A week? Come on. They're lying. It's a lie. So, yeah, it bugs me. These people. Buy real food. Buy pasture-raised poultry from a farmer you know. Don't waste your money on the so-called free-range corporate stuff at the store. It's garbage. But local farmers, and when I say small, I mean people might be doing 5,000, 10,000 birds on a good-sized small poultry farm. They're just not, you know, they're farmers. They work from the field, not from an office. That's what I'm talking about. Buy from them. Peace be with you.